Network, cable channel 16, ATT channel 99, and online at a2gov.org/watchctn. To speak at public comment, please feel free to call 877-853-5247 or 888-788-0099 and enter meeting ID 919-8673-1455. With that, I would like to call this meeting to order at 4:03 p.m. on November 20th. Now we will move to roll call with Kennedy. If and when she calls your name, please unmute and say where you are coming from today.
Alrighty, Chair Damon.
Absolutely, you guys. Good afternoon. This is Zach Damon, Chairman. I'm coming to you from Ann Arbor, Michigan, Washtenaw County.
Vice Chair Keeler.
Vice Chair Keeler, and I'm coming from Ann Arbor, Ward 5.
Commissioner Mozak.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kathleen Mozak, and I'm calling in from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Commissioner Solomon.
Matthew Solomon, Commissioner, Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Commissioner Hawkins. Commissioner Gossage.
Alex Gossage, calling in from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Commissioner Radcliffe.
Hi, it's Rosanita calling in from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Commissioner Packard.
Commissioner Packard calling from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Commissioner Chambers. Commissioner Buis. Commissioner Buis. And Commissioner Ankenbauer.
Hello, Commissioner Ankenbauer here, calling in from Ann Arbor.
Thank you. We have done the roll call, and Commissioner Hawkins, I just saw you arrive, so I will mark you as present.
Hi.
Thank you. Hi, Commissioner Hawkins. Good afternoon. And Kennedy, I did get a notification from Commissioner Chambers. They will do their best to be here today, but will likely be late. So thank you. All right. Thank you for the roll call. Next, we move down to our next agenda item, which is public comment. Please note that anyone with public comment today, you do have 3 minutes to present yourself. So Kennedy, do we have anybody on for public comment today?
At this time, we have no one on for public comment.
Thank you. No one on for public comment. Okay. Next, we go to the approval of the agenda for today. Everyone should have received a copy of the agenda ahead of the meeting today digitally. If you do not have a copy, please let myself and or Kennedy know, and we can provide you one promptly. But with that, if there is no one that needs the agenda and all of us have reviewed it, I would like to go ahead and make a motion to approve today's agenda if there are no corrections and or edits.
I'll move to approve.
All right, Larry moves to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, Rosanita seconds. All in favor of approving today's agenda for the Commission on Disability Issues, please unmute and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. The agenda is approved. Moving on, we have the approval of the meeting minutes from September 18th. Again, this should be located in the agenda digitally, and you can also view it online as well. But do we have any questions and or amendments to the meeting minutes and or a motion to approve?
This is Kathleen.
I'll move to approve again. Oh, go ahead, Kathleen.
I was going to say I have no amendments to make, and I'd like to move to approve.
All right, thank you. Kathleen makes the motion. Vice Chairman, I have a hunch that you're going to second.
I'll second. Yeah.
No problem. Thank you so much. Seconded by Vice Chairman Keeler. All in favor of approving the meeting minutes from September, please unmute and say aye.
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 Thank you. The meeting minutes are approved. And with that, we also have to approve the meeting minutes from October. Those again have been provided digitally with a link, and you can also view them online. I would like to know, is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes from October 16th at this time? All right, I'll move to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second
I'll
that.
second. Oh, go ahead, Rob.
Commissioner Packard seconded that. All in favor
Yeah.
of approving the meeting minutes from October 16th? If you are in favor, please unmute and say aye.
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 Thank you all. I do appreciate that. The meeting minutes from October are approved. Next, we move on to a fun part of our agenda. Very excited for this. We have a new commission candidate introduction. So, everyone, I would like to give the floor to a new candidate for the commission, Ms. Annika Conrad. Annika, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. The floor is yours.
Thanks so much. It's my name is Annika Conrad. I am relatively new to Ann Arbor. I moved here about 2.5 years ago for a job at University of Michigan. I'm a faculty member in the English department there. I'm the associate director of the English department writing program. Um, Most of my work focuses on issues of disability and accessibility. I'm legally blind, and the research that I do in my field focuses on understanding how people with disabilities communicate about their needs, how they seek accessibility, and really working toward building a better understanding of accessibility is something that everybody needs to learn and participate in. I was excited about the opportunity of joining this commission because although most of my work is in the higher education space, I'm always interested in getting more involved in issues of accessibility in the community, raising greater awareness about it, bringing accessibility really to the forefront of everything that we do as a community. And as someone who, lives with a disability, walks around the city a lot, and is someone who just kind of notices issues of accessibility in ways that other people might not. So I'm very happy to be here. Happy to answer your questions, excited to hear about what you're working on and to get to know you all.
Annika, thank you so much for that introduction. And, I really appreciate your willingness and openness to share what you shared with us today. Um, so yeah, I'd like to open it up, I guess, to a few questions from some of our commissioners to you, if you don't mind. Are there any commissioners who just have some, general questions for our candidate?
Commissioner Mozak?
Yeah, I was reviewing your application and where you are from. It looks like you served on some sort of like commission or something similar to what you're applying for now. Can you tell me a little bit about that experience, what you might have done or the impact that you may have had while you were in that role?
Yeah. So yeah, that's part of what brings me to this commission is another opportunity to work in a similar space. When I lived in Madison, Wisconsin, I served on the Disability Rights Commission. A couple of examples of things that we worked on included building kind of a community awareness project for the downtown area in Madison, kind of educating businesses on how to build more accessible practices into how they interact with customers, the materials they use, as well as things like barriers that they might not be aware of. So, for example, and I see this in Ann Arbor sometimes too, kind of sandwich boards that businesses will put out on the sidewalk to, let customers know about services or menu items or whatever that really kind of get in the way of people navigating. There was also an initiative in Madison to kind of adopt the forward accessible wheelchair symbol. And so we kind of worked with the community there to understand whether people wanted to adopt that kind of thing. And so I'm trying to think what were some other projects. It was a while ago since I lived somewhere else for several years in between now and then. Somewhere that was so small and didn't have a disability community. So I'm excited to return to one that does have disability community and people working on issues within the context of city governance.
Thank you for that.
Okay, wonderful. Any other questions for Annika at this time? All right. Well, Annika, I definitely, like I said, just appreciate all of your openness, everything that you kind of bring to this, potential opportunity, and just thank you for your time today. All right. And then Annika too, I will let you know that upon us going through the meeting and everything, typically we do our voting and candidate discussion uh, kind of after this. So once we get to that point, we would graciously ask you to exit the meeting if that's okay. You can observe the rest of the meeting until we get to uh, that portion of the meeting today to discuss your application and going forward. But at that point, once you have left, Kennedy will be in touch with you in terms of the next steps and going forward. Okay.
Of course, understood. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yep.
Special presentations, the Washtenaw Library for the Blind and Print Disabled. Jackie?
Yes. Yes. Pardon me. Thank you.
Actually, it's Katie today, so Katie
Sorry about
Montevitt.
that, Katie.
That's okay, no problem. Happy to be here and let you all know about some things that are coming up at the library. We have a couple of events that I'd like to call your interest to. First, on Friday, November 22nd at 2 p.m. at our Pittsfield branch, we have an event called Intersections, where architecture meets live performance in the Motor City. We'd like you to join us as we take a close look at the histories of 20 architecturally significant live performance spaces in Metro Detroit constructed between 1895 and 1987, including 4 in Washtenaw County. This event also includes brief examinations of the life and work of 2 of Detroit's top theater designers of the past, Charles N. Agree and C. Howard Crane. And the library will be providing a live stream of this event, and we intend to make it available for future viewing. A video player will appear on the event page 1 hour before the start of the event. And we have Bringing Planning to the People. This is going to be on Thursday, December 12th at 6:30 p.m. at the Downtown Library in our 4th floor meeting room. You can join us for a talk with urban planner, content creator, and University of Michigan alum Brittany Simmons as she discusses how her time in Ann Arbor shaped her approach to making communities more livable, equitable, and economically vibrant places to live. Whether you're a city planning enthusiast, a resident interested in local development, or just curious about how cities shape the lives of their inhabitants, this event offers an opportunity to gain insights from Simmons, an urban planner who has been featured in Business Insider, Crain's New York, and the American Planning Association. And now I'll talk about some materials. And as always, Washtenaw Library for the Blind and Print Disabled patrons can reach us to order their digital cartridges, or if they have any other questions, by calling 734-327-4224, or you can email us at wlbpd@aadl.org. And we encourage everybody to sign up for the Braille and audio reading service, Bard, if you haven't already, to download your own books. And you can visit their website at nlsbard.loc.gov or call us and we can assist with that. Here's a couple of books that recently came out, released on Bard in audio. The Boys of Riverside, A Deaf Football Team and a Quest for Glory by Thomas Fuller. This is the story of an all-deaf high school football team's triumphant climb from underdog to undefeated, their inspirational brotherhood, a portrait of deafness in America, and the indefatigable head coach who spearheaded the team. And we also have a book called On Community. This is by Casey Plett. We need community to live, but what does it look like? Why does it often feel like it's slipping away? We're all hinged to some definition of a community, be it as simple as where we live, complex as the beliefs we share, or as intentional as those we call family. In an episodic personal essay, Casey Plett draws on a range of firsthand experiences to start a conversation about the larger implications of community as a word, an idea, and a symbol. With each thread, a cumulative definition of community and what it has come to mean for Plett emerges. Looking at phenomena from transgender literature to Mennonite history to hacker houses of Silicon Valley and the rise of nationalism in North America, Plett delves into the thorny intractability of communities' boons and faults. Deeply personal, authoritative in its illuminations, On Community is an essential contribution to the larger cultural discourse that asks how and to what socio-political ends we form bonds with one another. And those are just the things that I have for you today. Just a short little bit from me, but I'm wondering if anybody has any comments or questions. All right. Well, thank you all for having me. Always appreciate being here. Oh, Zach, I see your hand.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Do you mind saying the name of the book about the football team one more time, please?
Yes, that is The Boys of Riverside, a deaf football team and a quest for glory.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You know, have they made that into a film yet, or is it just a book?
Not that I'm aware of, but it does sound like it would be an awesome movie.
All right. There we go. Thank you. I agree. All right. Awesome. Thank you so much, Katie. And thank you to everyone at the AIDL and, of course, the Washtenaw Library for the Blind and Print Disabled, doing amazing work there all the time. And if any of you watching have an opportunity, please visit the facility, take a look at all of their wonderful resources, and reach out. They do a great job. Thank you, Katie.
Thanks so much, Zach, and everyone else. You guys have a great day.
Absolutely. Bye-bye. All right. Next, we have the Disability Network Washtenaw Monroe Livingston Report with Andrea. Andrea, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I want to just highlight one event here today for you. It's another holiday pop-up market happening at our Washtenaw location on Saturday, December 7th from 1 to 4 p.m. It will feature vendors with original artwork, prints, jewelry, knits and textiles, pottery and ceramics, and more. We encourage folks to come out and support local artists with disability, get some holiday shopping done on that afternoon. Again, that's Saturday, December 7th from 1 to 4 p.m. in our Ann Arbor, Washtenaw location. That's all I have today for the commission.
All right. Thank you so much, Andrea, and so many great things, always going on. I just had a question for you, if that's okay. Are you guys still doing that harvest gathering, or did that already happen?
That already happened. Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that was a couple weeks ago now. So
okay. Well, hopefully it was a success. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep. Awesome. All right. Next, we have the Partners in Access Subcommittee report with Vice Chair Larry Keeler. Larry?
And it is here. We, attending was Commissioner Packard and Commissioner Mozak. And Commissioner Mozak reported that the City Hall parking situation has been resolved, and with painted blue lines where the parking is supposed to happen. And she also mentioned that eventually they plan to put bricks in instead of paint so that the lines don't fade. And she also mentioned that Jefferson and what was it? Jefferson and something. I forgot because I just did Jefferson and near
Maine.
near Camp. And that was being resolved because they were doing construction there, so there's no need to like bug them for it. And then we also discussed that we may have business cards. Commissioner Packard said something about business cards we might have, and he talked with us more about his OCO app, and then we just mentioned the bus announcements again and talked about them and how we're working to straighten those so that they sound uniform, so that they're uniform volume. And that's about it. Oh, we did mention the possible website coming in, and we talked about the sustainability of it, and we wanted to know about the sustainability of it and how to keep trollers off it. Yeah, Jefferson and Maine, here it was. I see it back. And and I also mentioned that I'm noticing a trend where these were EV parks, EV parking stations, and also pickup places are being diminished because they're making parking spaces, handicap parking spaces, a lot less hard to find with all these other things going on with the parking spaces, the EV and pickup spots. And that's it.
Okay. Well, thank you, Vice Chairman, for that report of the Partners in Access Committee subcommittee report. Kathleen, first of all, I just want to say thank you for all your advocacy for that in terms of the parking at City Hall. Thank you to Council woman Ghazi Edwin as well for their support there. And I'm glad to see that at this point this has been resolved. That is good to hear. Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Larry. Do appreciate that that report. Next, we move on to the Community Engagement Subcommittee report with Commissioner Rachel Hawkins. Rachel?
Hi, Zach. So my only update is for Ann Arbor Inclusive. They recorded earlier this month with Washington Association for Community Advocacy. I don't have a date yet of when that will be out, but that is their show for this month. So keep an eye on the Ann Arbor Inclusive YouTube channel, and it will be coming up soon.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. So, yeah, WACA doing a lot of good work, and really excited to see that episode. Absolutely. Thank you, Rachel. Next, Larry, don't go anywhere because we have you up for the recruiting activity report. So Vice Chairman Keeler, you're up.
Oh, the recruiting activity report is, you pretty much just seen the results of that. we have an opening, and we have just interviewed that the person who may or may not fill it. So as far as I know, I think we do have a couple of applications just in case this goes through that we can act on. So we're pretty good.
All right, thank you, and thank you, Larry, for all your work with the recruiting activity. But then also, Larry, you're just such a popular guy, and you're doing so much. I was hoping that you could also give us a report for the Transportation Commission update.
Well, you were hoping for that, were you? It's your, with the meeting, of course, was the 16th of last month, and we talked about, there was a lot of talk about State Street and improving State Street, and apparently they want to put in 2 bus islands around there by the Union and Angel Hall, and also they want to elevate crosswalks and put in jump lanes so that the jump lane is so that the bus can take the lane, more of an express lane straight in. And they're going to put up a lot of buffers for bike traffic, and to separate the bike traffic and the traffic lanes. They're going to put up a lot of buffers so that it's easy to separate them. And then there's some water main projects going on there too. And then the DDA the DDA was meeting on the 23rd at the library, and I went to that meeting, and it was a lot of the same stuff that we have been seeing from the reports on city development. And then I have a lot of the things the public wants to improve downtown transportation. And let's see what else we got. Yeah, the downtown area circulation study, and then the downtown planning open house. That's the one I was at, and that's it for that.
All right. Well, thank you, Larry, for all of your work with the Transportation Commission, and keeping our city accessible, and our transit updated and accessible as well. The other thing I should probably mention is there is one of them tonight too, a Transportation Commission meeting at 7, and it is broadcast on Community Service Channel. Well, it's my channel 16, Community Access. You can just get on there and do it. I suppose you can go into commissions and boards and probably find their meeting on the computer too. I haven't done that, but I do know they broadcast it at least a couple of times on CTN, so it starts at 7. All righty.
Can I ask a question? This is Annika.
Yes.
I'm just wondering, what are the ways that accessibility is being attended to in these different projects?
One of the things they're trying to do with these different projects is a lot of these different projects, there's a lot of different accessibility things. Like I'm trying to get them to put an APS up there at some of those islands, and put in curb cuts for the islands so that you can catch the bus. They're talking about putting, at these bus islands, they want to put in some curb cuts. They want to make sure that you have some kind of tactile thing because they're starting to get rid of curbs in some places, so they want to put tactile things where your cane or your feet can feel them, so that you're not wandering from the sidewalk into the street. And of course, they got the buses calling out. So there's a few things going on, and I can tell you more about that later too, because these things have been mentioned here and there, but the accessibility is being paid attention to. I'm sort of making sure of that too.
Okay. Thank you.
And if you don't know, I'm totally blind. I'm visually impaired all the way. So, yeah, I'm hitting a lot of those issues.
Councilmember Gatti Edwin.
Hi, this is Aisha. Thank you. And by the way, Annika, it's so great you're here. Nice to meet you. So some of the things that I just want to touch on around accessibility, we do have Tracy Bird, who's our accessibility coordinator, who started last year. I don't think she's on the phone with us, but I would love to see kind of more concerted coordination between Transportation Commission and quite frankly, all the commissions and accessibility. And it's hard because we are volunteers, right? It will take a lot of time, but Tracy is there. The other thing is that I know that at least Downtown Development Authority just went through an ADA curb study, and they are going to be adding, it'll be a total of 70 accessible parking spaces by the end of 2025. And they have been studying, curb cuts and behavior, and then there have been a variety of kind of other things that some of them because of us and us asking, and other things due to undergoing, for example, the ADA audit. So those are some of the ways that accessibility is kind of being incorporated or trying to be incorporated in some of these processes. I hope that answered your question.
Those statistics must have been on that poster down there then when I was down there at the for the Downtown Planning Commission, the downtown planning stuff on the 23rd of last month.
And yeah,
I didn't hear those figures, but
yep, this was actually presented to council in a work session by DDA about a month ago. And
okay,
yep. Maybe we could talk about some sort of system where some of these matters around accessibility from the various commissions, whether it be planning or transportation, be consolidated or sent to Tracy and then to us in some way, just so that access is easier for all of us.
And that would be nice. That would be really nice because I tried to report is what I see, but here and there's little ones here and little ones there that I get a hold of and put them all into an accessibility report.
Yeah.
I could go through all my notes and do some of that for the Transportation Commission, but
yeah, I mean, it would take effort too, right? But yeah, I can ask Laura.
But this is Annika again. That sounds like a great idea instead of kind of us responding to queries as they come up and individual pieces of projects. I definitely appreciate your point, Aisha, on kind of a more consolidated, coordinated effort among the commissions and to kind of put access really at the forefront of these projects.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, thank you everyone for that feedback. I definitely concur with council member that there needs to be more of a unified effort, and I've intentionally been doing my best to break the silos, if you will, between different commissions, and hopefully that can continue to be an effort on our part. And thank you, council member, for your lead on that as well.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Any other points, or can we move forward?
Zach, if I could.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and I do give kudos and credit that you are in touch with different organizations and are pretty good about emailing us and letting us know of things going on. And what I was going to mention also is we talked earlier about the issue of accessibility, being legally blind, new to it in the last 3 years, riding the bus and noticing that some of the announcements are harder to hear for us than others. And I thought we got some pretty encouraging news during the partners meeting that they are looking at that and their technologies and unifying that. So one of the accessibility transportation that you had asked about, Annika, I think that's one of the things that I think we're getting some good news on. So I just wanted to add that in there.
I did mention that briefly, but what they were talking about, when I brought it to our LAC, the answer I got from them and from the AATA, both people, is that they have to work on doing the buses individually because they're made by different companies, and so they have to go in and do them individually, but they are working on at least making an announcement level that's consistent so that it's not too loud or too quiet, or you don't want it to be annoying and scream at you, but at the same time you don't want to miss it because you don't hear it. And so yes, they are working on that.
I think too, this goes to show that like people affected by problems like know best the solutions. And it would be great if like commissioners here, if we could like participate in some sort of audit. I don't like take a tour, I don't want to put work on people, but I think that our experience can be really influential.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean,
Council member, I completely agree. I mean, I can say that I've been, asked to be a part of different accessibility audits, but I just haven't had the time. And so if other commissioners are open to that, I think that's definitely a good opportunity.
Commissioner Mozak?
I just wanted to share one additional thought with regards to Commissioner Packard and Commissioner Keeler. The reason for the not just is it that we have two different bus companies with AAATA, we have Gillig and Nova. There's also when buses were built, right? So a bus's lifespan is about 12 to 14 years. It might be even a little bit longer as technology gets better. And so it's not just the fact that there are different bus companies involved, but they're also from different spans of life. And so something that's 14 years old is going to have different technology and be at a different spot than maybe something that's been built within the year or two. But they have, again, AATA has shared, they are working very diligently on that, trying to get everything as uniform as possible. So I just wanted to add that as well.
Folks, I know we have some other questions here, but I just want to limit it to one more question, and then we have to move forward. Thank you. Commissioner Packard?
Oh, I was just really quick going to say I think you put that very well, and I just wanted, on a very positive note, I've really noticed how great the bus drivers do of if you need help in reminding them that you're at a stop, they're amazing, and how you could say, I'm getting up, I need to get out at Stone School in Eisenhower, and amazingly they are able to help out with that. And so I just wanted to give credit as well, that they've been doing great as far as I've noticed. And I just wanted to say something very positive about how our bus system seems to be working. In spite of the, getting those upgraded. So anyway, that's all.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for your contributions and feedback on that. And again, to echo Council Member Edwin, I really do hope that we can be considered, highly considered, for different audits, if that is something that commissioners are open to doing. And I'm happy to highly consider that and discuss that further. Thank you, everyone. So I'm going to go ahead now and move forward to the next agenda item. We have the U of M Council for Disability Concerns meeting update with Commissioner Matthew Solomon. Matthew?
So the commission did not meet this month because there was some overlap with the New Backer Award ceremony. And on that note, this might be a nice time to recognize one of our own as the winner of this year's New Backer Award, none other than Councilperson Ghazi Edwin. This is the highest award one can receive in the disability space at U of M, and I just want to offer my congratulations on that great award and all of the advocacy and the work the career of advocacy that led to that award. So congratulations,
Thank
councilperson.
you. Thank you. This is Aisha. That means so much. Thank you so much, Matthew. And I really wouldn't be here or doing any of this work without all of you. You guys have all made this possible. Um, so I just want to thank you all again. And I really think the work just symbolizes, we've been able to really grow the disability justice movement here in Detroit, or I'm sorry, Ann Arbor, not just in Detroit. And it's important. So I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for those kind words.
Thank you, Matthew, and to echo Councilmember Edwin, I mean we are a neighbor of Detroit, so no slip up there, in my opinion. Yeah, absolutely. And I have more that I'd like to touch on that, by the way, in the chair report. But thank you, Matthew, for those kind remarks, and thank you, Councilmember Edwin, as well. All right. So we don't have Tracy on for the organizational equity report. All right, we're gonna move then to Kennedy for the city personnel report. Kennedy?
Hey guys, it's your favorite person in the world, your favorite office manager. I hope everyone's doing good. I know this weather is dull and kind of sad, but no matter what, the commission is still doing its work, so that's all that matters. I have no current personnel complaints to update you guys on. Just to give you guys a heads up, the city is currently getting ready to schedule interviews for their new public works administrator. So that will be getting done soon. And I think that's about it. Did you guys have any questions for me? Great.
I
All
don't have
right.
anything. Thank you, Kennedy. And yes, you indeed are our favorite boards and commissions office manager. Thank you very much. Do a
You're
fabulous
welcome.
job.
You sure?
Yeah,
Thank you, Larry.
absolutely. Moving on to the chair report. First of all, as I mentioned earlier, I just wanted to thank you, Commissioner Solomon, for that preemptive congratulations to our council liaison. I echo the sentiment there for the U of M Council for Disability Concerns in congratulating our council liaison, council member Aisha Ghazi Edwin, being this year's Newbacher Award recipient. It is well deserved, and all the praise, and hopefully there's more to come there, but well deserved and very honored and humbled to have been a part of that. So thank you very much, Aisha, for all you do for the university, for our community, and for our city.
Thank you. It's getting embarrassing now. But thank you all. And it's not just me, it's all of us, but thank you. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right. By the way, I wanted to also give a good shout out to the Disability Network and Commissioner Gossage. So Destination Ann Arbor and Wheel the World, an organization that deals with accessible travel, they got a verified status in Arbor and Washtenaw County, which is a pretty big deal. What that means essentially is that they have been verified as accessible and good resources for those with disabilities to be a global travel accessibility destination. And so I really want to congratulate Commissioner Gossage on his work with that. With Wheel the World and Destination Ann Arbor. I know they had a great ceremony earlier this week, and I regrettably was not able to attend due to a last-minute business meeting that I could not get out of. But thank you to the Disability Network, to Destination Ann Arbor, to Washtenaw County, to all the partners, and to all the community members who were a part of that. In making Wheel the World and making that verification for Washtenaw County a reality. So thank you to the Disability Network and to Commissioner Gossage for that. All right. And lastly, I wanted to mention that there is a upcoming event next month on December 7th and 8th the University of Michigan Adaptive Sports and Fitness Program is going to be having an adaptive wheelchair rugby tournament in Saline, Michigan, coming up. And so very exciting with that. There will be more details coming out with that momentarily, but I do highly encourage our commission to come out to the University of Michigan Adaptive Sports and Fitness events when they are doing them, so that we can also support that program as well. They're doing a lot of great work and work very closely, obviously, with the Office of Student Accessibility Services there at the University of Michigan, as well as other departments within the university as well, and doing great work. So I hope we can all support them. That's all I have for the chair report at this time. So with that, I'd like to move on to our city council update with Aisha Ghazi.
Question for you.
Oh, sure, Larry.
You forgot to do the vote.
Oh, yes, I'm so
Where
sorry.
is it? Okay. Question for you. Where is that in Saline?
Yes, I will get the location for you, and as soon as they release that information, I will send it to the full commission. I'm not sure at this time. And yes,
Thank
folks,
you.
pardon me, I'm not done with the chair report. At this time, we would ask that our candidate leave the room so that we then can conduct the rest of our business accordingly. All right. Kennedy, do we have confirmation that the candidate
He's gone.
Okay, thank you.
He's gone.
All right. With that, folks, as part of the chair report, I would like to propose that we vote candidate Onaker today. I wanted to know if there were any additional discussions or questions about this particular candidate. Larry, as part of the recruiting committee and activity, part of the individuals that reviewed her application and did her interview, I would like to open the floor for you to say a few words, and then I will open it to the commission for brief discussion before voting. Larry?
I'll say what I think, and then I'll move to approve it. I think she's an excellent candidate. I think we'll get some information from a different perspective, from a younger person's perspective, and not just mine on all the visually impaired issues. Because, like I said, I can't see nothing, and so for me, the perspective I bring is from a totally blind person. And so I like to see other people that have different views. And since she's worked in Madison, which is also a university town, I think she'd be great.
All right. All right. Well, thank you for that. And, I second that, Larry. I've had an opportunity to review her qualifications, review her application, and even speak with her in person at Visions earlier this year at the library. And I was very impressed with her level of professionalism, but then her strength, and then also her zeal for wanting to be a part of the commission and wanting to help advocate for all of us, and then also her perspective as somebody who is low vision as well. So I also approve, and I would like to open it up now to motion to vote.
I move to accept her as open the vote to accept her as a candidate.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
We're voting actually to approve her as a member of the commission, not just to accept her candidacy. No?
Thank you.
Correct.
No?
If I
Right,
remember correctly, we're only voting to make her a candidate, that then the application is given to the mayor and to city council, and that is where the approval comes in. We're just
right.
approving the recommendation. We're like rubber stamping and not rubber stamping. We're saying we really like this candidate, Mr. Mayor, and as a body, we've come to the conclusion that we want to bring this candidate to you for the council's approval.
So
Couldn't have said it
recommendation.
better.
So we're offering our recommendation.
Yes, excuse me. It's a recommendation. The way the processes work is they apply, we interview, we review. Then, of course, if they are then, deemed qualified, I then bring them before the commission for a presentation. All of us then evaluate. Then, if we are, you know, ready for that, then we vote on the recommendation to go towards city council. All right. With that, I would like to then, vote on this recommendation. I vote to send her on to city council for appointment.
Do we have a motion and then a second?
Oh yes. So I'd like to motion that we vote to send Annika to city council and be appointed as a commissioner. Is there a second?
I'll second.
I'll second. Oh, you can have it, Rosalie.
All right, Rosanita seconds. All in favor of recommending that Annika be appointed to the commission and put forth to city council. Please unmute and say aye.
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 Aye. Thank you. Okay. With that, then she will be then recommended to city council, and then Kennedy, upon city council's results and approval, hopefully we can let her know.
Yep. I'm going to let her know that her recommendation has been approved, and then from there it'll go to city council.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone. Moving on now, we have the city council update with council member Aisha Ghazi Edwin.
Thank you, Zach. So I have a brief update. As was shared previously, there were some parking spaces at City Hall that were repainted. I'm happy about that, as well as on Ann Street. And they've discussed, moving to bricks to kind of delineate those further. Any questions on that or follow-up concerns I can take back if needed? Okay. And right to sit, as you all know, was passed, and I'm happy to report that it's inspired a bill at the state level, which was just introduced. It probably won't get a hearing, this year, but it's pretty amazing because we are the first city in the state to enact it. And if this helps to inspire statewide legislation, that is huge. So I wanted to report that. Sorry, guys, I just got a phone call. And let me see what else is going on. Oh, I was thinking we could talk briefly about an email that we received from an individual who said, well, I shared this previously, but do you guys remember when the city shut down, or they do frequently shut down now during summertime, Main Street and a few other streets to make these kind of walkable areas? And do you all remember when we asked, how is that affecting people with disabilities who now can no longer park closer to where they're going? And so I had reached out to Maura Thompson, the executive director of the DDA. This was at the end of last year. And I said, can you guys do some sort of audit and see, like, where would the nearest accessible parking space be to these corridors, right? And is there an accessible path of travel, which I realized was a little bit more hard for them to assess, but she did do an audit, and from that, they're adding 12 new accessible parking spaces. And then in addition to a curb study, ADA curb study, they're adding 68 more. So it's actually more than 70, 68 parking spaces, accessible parking spaces by the end of next year. So there have been kind of, this assessment done and a documentation of need, that we can be doing better when it just comes to creating, a more accessible infrastructure. I think someone raised their hand. Rosanita?
Oh, from what I don't know if I'm remembering correctly, but was part of the problem too, though, people getting the ability to get dropped off, and like with A ride and making it to navigating to where they work downtown.
I think that did come up in
That
conversation. Go ahead, Larry.
that is one of my concerns, as well as the fact that the sidewalk is blocked. The sidewalks are, and even into the streets are blocked off by tables and chairs. Obviously, the people are wanting to do their business, and that makes sense. But it can. I frequently go through downtown on those times for various things, and it can be a really pain in the rear end to try to navigate between all the chairs and tables in the street and on the sidewalk.
Yeah. It sounds like more work needs to be done. I mean, and I think that this is an ongoing process, right? They have recently reported on, there's also these obstructions in bike lanes, but I want to get back to the sidewalks and accessible parking spots. I think that it would be good for us to get that whole report of the curb study and also then bring attention to this ride drop off. You said it's called A Ride. Is that what is
A
that
ride is one of the ones that usually.
Yeah, is that the paratransit or one of?
Yeah.
It's the paratransit.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that is something that we should call more attention to. So why don't if anyone has any specific information about experiences, you could email it to me and I will reach out to our city staff and ask about if there's been assessment done on that.
And for your information also, A Ride they have a lot of, well, they pretty much all have lift equipped vans now, and they need to get enough customers who use them, or people that are visually impaired. Sometimes if we get dropped off in a location that's 100 yards from where we're at and we don't know it, it's kind of difficult to
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
most of the drivers are good for telling you or trying to help you, but sometimes you get dropped in a place or something and just a little off, and you're like,
Yeah.
I got to find out which way I'm going.
Yeah. And it shouldn't be up to, access shouldn't be up to getting lucky enough to have a nice enough driver.
True.
So let me reach out to the city, and that's something that I can start working on, and I'll report back to you guys.
I'm also bugging the Transportation Commission and anybody else I can.
Yeah. Yeah, please do. Oh, there's another thing. There was an email that came about seating downtown. Someone said, thanks for the right to sit, but do you have any maps that show public seating downtown? And I was like, that's a good question. So I guess that I reached out, and the DDA, Downtown Development Authority, is creating a map. So I'm gonna send that along when I receive it, but also something I'll share with you guys, obviously, as well.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you, council member. I really appreciate all of your efforts and all of your work. And yeah, commissioners, I urge you to send council member any feedback that you have, specifically on the issues that she mentioned. As always, council member, if there's anything else that you need from our commission, please feel free to reach out, and hopefully we can assist.
That sounds great.
And it looks like we have one last question, but I will limit it to that. Commissioner Packard.
Oh, just letting you know, I've been using A Ride for about 3 years, and I've had great experiences with drivers, but I'd be glad to chime in on any improvements or ideas. is in that discussion. So feel free to reach out and any aspects that moving forward there.
Yeah, I can definitely do that. I think, some of these things are a lot more, it's just really impactful to have you guys involved in some of these discussions with staff, right?
Yeah,
So I'll just CC you on the email that I write.
please do. Thank you. I learned something new this past week, and a lot of times, like you said, it's a matter of getting the word out, of awareness of what's already there. I just learned, and I don't know if this is common knowledge, but if you have a disability through many insurances or Medicare, if you're going to any kind of a non-emergency medical, they'll cover. There's a way to arrange that to cover that through. I don't know if it's A Ride or Lyft, but that's just one of those pieces of information that's empowering. The more we know. But anyway, A Ride, please, yeah, thank you for seeing me on that.
Yep, will do. Thanks for sharing, everyone.
Absolutely. And, I'm just very grateful, commissioners, for all of your help and all of your work. And then, of course, to our liaison as well. So thank you, council member.
Yep, of course.
All right. Next, we're going to move on to old business. Do we have any old business at this time?
We currently do not have any old business.
All right. Thank you. Moving on to new business, we have the approval of both the 2025 calendar for the Commission on Disability Issues. And I'll start with that. Everyone should have received a copy of that and the ability to view the calendar via link. If you do not, please let us know and we can send you that now. But I'd like to make a motion to approve the 2025 calendar for the Commission on Disability Issues.
I'll second.
All right. Larry seconds. All in favor of approving the 2025 calendar for the Commission on Disability Issues, please unmute and say aye.
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 Aye. Okay. Thank you. The 2025 calendar has been approved. Next, we have the 2025 calendar for the Partners in Access Committee. Is there a motion to approve the 2025 calendar for the PIA?
This is Kathleen. I'll make a motion to approve.
All right. Kathleen makes a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Larry seconds. All in favor of approving the 2025 calendar for the PIA subcommittee, please unmute and say aye.
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 All right. Thank you. Both calendars are approved. Next, we move on to communications. Do we have any communications this evening? All right. No communications. So next, I would like to move to adjournment. It is now 5:06. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll move to adjourn.
All right, you'll move to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll second, Larry. This is Kathleen.
Okay. Thank you, Kathleen. All in favor of adjourning our meeting today on November 20th at 5:06 Eastern Standard Time? Please unmute and say aye.
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 Aye. All right. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much, commissioners, for all of your time, all of your help, and all of your efforts. I'd like to thank the City of Ann Arbor and the Community Television Network for all of their efforts as well. It is a pleasure and honor to serve with all of you, and I look forward to seeing all of you soon. So thank you very much.
Take care.
Goodbye, everyone.